Some revolver rounds are designed for self-defense, while others are built to stop a charging bear in its tracks. And then there are those cartridges that belong in a whole different league. Massive, bone-crushing, and downright terrifying. In this video, we're diving into the 12 most dangerous revolver rounds ever made. These aren't your grandpa's plinking loads. These are the heavy hitters with enough energy to shatter bone, tear through engine blocks, and flip the script on anything that dares to threaten you. Ready to meet the monsters? Let's go. And coming in hot like Thor's hammer, packed into a cylinder, is the 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum. This beast isn't just the most powerful revolver round on the planet. It is the planet. We're talking over 2,600 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, enough to stop a bear, moose, or, frankly, your neighbor's truck. Developed for the Smith & Wesson Model 500, this round turned revolvers into handheld cannons. It's what you give a cowboy when a T-Rex is charging. Want to know how strong it is? A standard .44 Magnum looks like a toddler's crayon next to this monster. And the recoil, it's not a kick, it's a full-body event. But if you think this is wild, wait until you meet the round that gave birth to it, the .454 Casull. Before the .500 Magnum ruled the jungle, the .454 Casull was already out there snapping wrists and splitting egos. Think of it as the Rocky Balboa of revolver rounds. Small frame, massive punch. Originally designed in the 1950s to push the limits of revolver power, it delivers 1,900 foot-pounds of energy that's like getting hit with a small car. In cowboy terms, it's what you load if you're afraid of bears that are also on steroids. The .454 Casull took the revolver world from 6 guns to supercharged thumpers, especially when chambered in guns like the Ruger Super Red Hawk or the Taurus Raging Bull. And unlike the .500, it's a bit more versatile, offering different grain loads depending on how insane you're feeling. But don't get too comfy, because if the .454 Casull is Rocky, the next one is his Russian rival with a jetpack on. Enter the .460 S&W Magnum, the screaming banshee of the revolver world. It's faster, flatter shooting, and almost as powerful as the 500, which means you're getting 2,300 plus foot-pounds of kinetic chaos with less bullet drop and more velocity than anything else in its weight class. Think of it as the Flash with a sledgehammer. Designed for the X-frame revolvers, this round can turn a grizzly's charge into a short film with the title, The Grizzly That Didn't Make It. And let's not forget, it's one of the few revolver cartridges that can hit targets past 200 yards and still knock them sideways. The .460 is like having a sniper rifle with a trigger that wants to break your wrist. Still impressed by the .454? This round makes it look like it's stuck in slow-mo. And up next, the OG of hand cannons, the round that made Clint Eastwood a legend. The .44 Magnum, the original hand cannon, and Clint Eastwood's legendary sidekick in Dirty Harry. Back in the 70s, this round wasn't just dangerous, it was iconic. With up to 1,600 foot-pounds of energy, it didn't just make a statement, it yelled it through a bullhorn. Chambered in classics like the S&W Model 29, the .44 Magnum doesn't just hit hard, it punches through barriers, car doors, and egos. It became the gold standard of stopping power for decades. Recoil? Yes. Muzzle blast? Absolutely. Street cred? Off the charts. But just when you thought the cowboy movie ended here, another contender showed up. One that didn't need the spotlight, just pure ballistic violence. Meet the Magnum that flew under the radar and straight into legend. Meet the .41 Magnum, the James Bond of revolver rounds, slick, underrated, and lethal without the noise. Created in the 1960s as a bridge between the .357 and the .44, it was supposed to be the sweet spot. And sweet it is, if by sweet you mean blazing fast and bone-piercing. With energy ranging from 700 to 1,300 foot-pounds, it has the stopping power of a wrecking ball with the trajectory of a laser pointer. And while it never hit Hollywood fame, real shooters know this round's no joke. It punches through barriers with less recoil than a .44 Magnum and more speed. Load it hot and it becomes a .44 Magnum's evil twin. Leaner, meaner, and faster. But the next round, it's not here to negotiate. It's not here to impress. It's the cold-blooded killer of the bunch, the one cops carried when things got real. Step aside for the .357 Magnum, the godfather of man-stopping revolver rounds. In its prime, this was the go-to choice for law enforcement, FBI agents, and pretty much anyone who needed to end a fight before it started. With up to 700 foot-pounds of energy and blazing velocities north of 1,500 feet per second, the .357 didn't just hit, it detonated tissue, producing legendary hydrostatic shock. Think of it as the Rambo of wheelgun rounds, efficient, brutal, and terrifyingly precise. It's been credited with one-shot stops more times than any other revolver caliber in the real world. Light enough to carry, strong enough to trust, and fast enough to ruin someone's day, permanently. But don't exhale just yet. We're about to push this old-school power into modern mayhem. Next up, an old cowboy classic that just got a whole lot meaner. Away from the cowboy classic, let's talk recent developments. Say hello to the .45 Colt, but not the grandpa version. We're talking loaded hot, modern-day, no-nonsense doom rounds fired out of Rugers and big-frame revolvers. Originally designed in 1872, the .45 Colt was the stuff of legends in the Old West. But today, loaded hot, and it becomes a time-traveling freight train, pushing 1,000-plus foot-pounds of muzzle energy. That's right, this antique just got a Mad Max upgrade. The standard cowboy loads are polite, but the +P+ variants, they turn your six-shooter into a six-chambered warhammer. When fired from tanks like the Ruger Blackhawk or Red Hawk, it rivals the .44 Magnum in raw destructive power. Think of it as The Revenant meets John Wick. Classic roots, modern fury. And speaking of modern, what happens when we take a semi-auto speed demon and stuff it into a revolver? In comes the .38. Super the underdog with a secret, a round most folks associate with sleek 1911 pistols, until it sneaks into a revolver and goes full assassin mode. In rare beasts like the Medusa Model 47, which can fire over 20 different calibers, the .38 Super becomes a high-pressure, high-velocity menace. We're talking 400 to 500 foot-pounds of muzzle energy in a slim, fast package that punches through soft armor like a hot knife through Kevlar. Used heavily in competition shooting for its flat trajectory and fast follow-ups, this round in a revolver is like Jason Bourne with a wheel gun, quiet, dangerous, and always on target. And just when you think the madness stops there, here comes something even spicier. You've heard of the 10mm in Glocks, but have you met it in a revolver? Welcome to the 10mm auto, aka the bane of semi-autos, unleashed in a revolver. This round has always had a reputation. Too strong for the FBI, too fast for casual shooters, and just the right amount of oh no for anything downrange. But chamber it in a revolver like the Smith & Wesson 610, and you've got a bulletproof combo of speed, power, and reliability. With 600 to 750 foot-pounds of energy, this round hits harder than a hangover after tequila shots and flies faster than your ex's red flags. You get the performance of a .41 Magnum with modern hollow point options and moon clips for fast reloads. It's tactical, it's savage, and it's built for the woods, the streets, and the apocalypse. But hold tight, we're not done yet. The next round is small, sneaky, and shockingly savage. 9mm revolvers. You heard that right? 9mm in a revolver. Sounds weird. Maybe. But trust us, it's Neo meets Dirty Harry. Known as the king of semi-autos, the 9mm Luger slips into revolvers like the Ruger LCR or Smith & Wesson 929, bringing with it fast velocities, low recoil, and surprisingly brutal ballistics. Don't let its tactical bro reputation fool you. Modern defensive loads pack up to 450 foot-pounds of energy, and when fired from a tight cylinder revolver, that translates to laser-fast follow-up shots and surgical precision. And let's talk practicality. 9mm ammo is cheap, easy to find, and perfect for moon clips, making reloads snap. So yeah, it's the nerdy round that grew up, hit the gym, and became a lethal little beast. But now, let's go really old school, like World War II meets Wild West. And yes, it still bites hard. If the .44 Magnum is Dirty Harry, then the .45 ACP in a revolver is Captain America with a bad attitude. Originally designed for the M1911, the .45 ACP brings slow, heavy devastation to everything it touches. Now drop it into a revolver like the Smith & Wesson 625, and you've got a classic slugger with revolver reliability. This round hits with 400 to 600 foot-pounds of force, depending on the load, and its wide, slow-moving profile is known for stopping bad guys dead in their tracks. Literally, it doesn't over-penetrate, it doesn't dance, it just knocks stuff over like a bowling ball on a mission. And when paired with moon clips, reloads are lightning fast. Think World War II trench power in a modern carry piece. But just when you thought you'd seen it all, the final round steps out of the shadows. It's small, it's fast, and it's the mosquito with a chainsaw. The Magnum aka .22 WMR. Surprised? Don't be. The .22 Magnum might be the David in a lineup of Goliaths, but it comes with some nasty surprises. This isn't your average rimfire. This is a 1,900 FPS screamer, a tiny bottleneck round that zips out of snub-nose revolvers like the S&W 351C or Ruger LCR with shocking precision. And with modern ammo, the .22 WMR can penetrate deeper than expected, often outperforming .380 CP in gel tests. Plus, it has low recoil, high velocity, and you can carry 8 shots or more in a small frame revolver. That's John McClane meets Splinter Cell, stealthy, sneaky, and dangerous when it counts. You won't use it to stop a bear, but you'll definitely stop a threat. Quietly, repeatedly, and there you have it. 12 of the most dangerous revolver rounds to ever spin in a cylinder. From the bone-crushing .500 S&W to the underestimated .22 Magnum, these rounds prove that wheel guns are far from outdated. They're iconic, deadly, and built to deliver. Whether you're into cowboy classics or modern magnums, one thing's clear. Revolvers still pack heat that demands respect. So what's your favorite round? Did we miss a monster? Drop your picks in the comments below and don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell for more explosive content. Stay safe, stay sharp, and keep your powder dry.